Hello, welcome back to Call Clutter Fairy, where I help you get clutter-free so that you can live stress-free. If you're new to my channel, if you wouldn't mind clicking that subscribe button and the notification bell, not only does that tell me that you're liking what I'm doing, but it tells YouTube what you're interested in so it can customize that content to you. This week's video is a continuation of my Ikea storage video. So many of you asked for a video on how I made these little Sunnersta containers for storage, so that's what we're going to do. So my inspiration was when I was walking through. I love the farmhouse line that they have, but it's out of my price range. And when I saw this particular Sunnersta, it was such an economical solution. You didn't have to buy extra hooks because it was already built into the little cup, so I thought this would be a perfect option for me. The other thing they have though, and I didn't show it last week, is they have a shelf that you could add to this. And it's such a cute idea for adding different containers on top. And once again, it's a very affordable solution. $4.99 for a little shelf on there. So they also have hooks, and that's something else I didn't show last week, but I bought some for mine. Turns out I didn't need them, but at only $1 for a 5-pack, I know I'll use them somewhere else. So when I got home, I opened up my Cricut and I went into the design studio and I used the Easton, E-A-S-T-O-N font, and I pre-made the labels that I knew I was going to need. I already had my stand-up supplies sorted out into different buckets, so I knew what I was going to call them. So it was a really quick process for me, but you can do this with just about any printer, Silhouette, Cricut. So once I got all of the labels off, I went ahead and started measuring out where I wanted my label on top of the little pail. And then if you know how to use these vinyl decals, I won't bore you through that. But you print it on your Cricut or your Silhouette. You put a contact or transferring paper on top of it so the vinyl sticks backwards. And then you can adhere the whole thing to whatever it is that you're putting a label on. Once you make sure that it's stuck really well, you slowly peel that transfer paper off and you have a beautiful vinyl sticker on whatever it is that you want to label. So there's so many tutorials out there for Cricuts and Silhouettes. I won't get into that too much. But then I got out from my paint tier that I made a couple weeks ago. I got just some plain black acrylic paint, and I got one little sponge so that I could sponge what looked like the broken enamel or the worn enamel on there that's so popular with the farmhouse look. And I just quickly, and I didn't even do it neatly because I wanted it to look worn, I just ran my brush all the way along the top and the bottom, and I made sure to completely paint the entire back portion of that hook. And I did these one at a time, so you're pretty much watching it real time. So I went to my next, which was my gel pens, made sure that it was really adhered well, and then slowly peeled off and painted the rims. So from start to finish, you guys, I think this took me 20 minutes. I did the bottom. I don't know if I like the bottom. I might clean that back off I might scrape that off and make it look a little bit neater. Or I might add more little worn marks to it. I'm going to play with it and see. But you could add ribbon to these. You could add different color contact paper. You could use strips of your scrapbook paper, but because they are graduated, whatever you put in the front is going to slant up on the sides because they are not perfectly square. So be aware that you're going to have to play with it just a little bit. I think ribbon would probably be the easiest, and you can just use dots in a couple of places so that if you get bored with the look of it, you can just swap it out. So here I am doing number 4, which is markers, just using the transfer tape, pushing down the vinyl, and once I feel like it's securely on there, I just peel off that transfer paper, and I have another label. Run my ring of paint around, make sure to cover that back, and I do it again on the bottom. And number 4 is done. This was such a fast thing. And if you don't have an Ikea near you, I'm so sorry. I've heard so many comments of, it's 3 hours away or we don't have one in my city. If you do have one and you're not out of the country, and for those of you out of the country, I'm sorry, but if you're at least within a state line or two, you can have these things shipped to you. I don't think the shipping for this line would be very expensive, so that is at least an option. And the other thing that I didn't get to show today is you don't have to buy their rail. This will also adhere, if you have it against a wall, to just a regular rod, a curtain rod, the kind with the brackets or the kind that's suspension if you're doing it in a bookcase. This really was such a quick and easy project, so please leave me a like or comment below on what you would do with this. I love hearing your ideas. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I'm trying to post twice a week, so until then, I'll see you on the next video.